The following broadcast is a production of HCC TV.
Hi, I'm Justin Boyd.
Hi, I'm George Luna.
Frank and I are dressing alike.
Yay! And we are
The Watchers in the Basement.
Welcome to the Watchers in the Basement. We are back here at the Main Street Studios here in Houston, Texas.
What's that?
And we're talking about the series The Boys. It's an Amazon Prime series. We're on to episode 2 today. We're talking about the episode entitled Cherry. So,
Cherry Bomb! Then this is appropriate, like wearing red, both of us wearing red.
I didn't know Cherry Bomb was an actual song. Like, I love that song now. I never heard that song until I
Wow.
saw the episode.
Yeah, I've heard it on like so many movies. We were talking about this before the show started, but I have to find some.
That's because I grew up in the hood.
And I know you have. No, I know you've heard it in a movie. Or
Let's not get
it's something
sidetracked
you
like
watched.
last week, guys.
Yeah, okay, sorry.
hey, George, you want to read the synopsis, the quick synopsis for the
Yeah,
episode?
so basically, the boys get themselves a superhero. They captured Translucent
Right.
from last episode, which we talked about. They subdued him. They got him. They electrocuted him, put him in the trunk, and now
We're gonna find out what they do.
we're gonna find out what they do. Starlight gets payback, and Homelander behaves badly and gets the senator rowdy.
Okay. Okay, let's go scene by scene now. So I've got some notes here from every scene. Let's talk about it. The episode opens with the bloody Huey, and he's freaking out, understandably, because he's in the store. They've just subdued Translucent, and he thinks that Translucent's dead.
Right.
And so Butcher has Huey help him put Translucent's body in the trunk of the car, and they drive away. At this point, Huey kind of learns, hey, like, this Butcher guy's he's not a Fed. He's not working for the authorities. He's his own man. And Butcher tells him, he's like, I'm an independent contractor. So
Air quotes.
I thought that's kind of, because I've actually been an independent contractor a couple times. So I never did this, though.
You sure?
Would like to.
You sure?
Yeah, no, I'd like to. So while in the car, we learn that Translucent's still alive, which is, Huey's like, oh, thank God, like, because he didn't want to kill a superhero. But Butcher brings up the good point that that's not a good thing because he's seen your face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're going to kill you eventually. So it'd be
Right.
better
So
if you were
now-
just dead.
Now you have to kill him.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, it's definitely tricky with Translucent just because he's translucent. You know, you never know if he's gonna come after you or how he's gonna come after you to kill you. So
True.
Right. He's
even
invisible.
more reason to kill him.
Yeah. So at this point, they're not sure what to do. Well, Butcher knows what to do. So he says, I know, man, the top man. We're gonna go meet up with this guy.
I love this man.
My man.
And
Favorite character.
George's favorite character is introduced. It's Frenchie, played by an actor named Tomir Capone. I'm not familiar with him or his work, but he's very good in this
Good
show.
job, man.
Yeah.
Great job on
He's
this
actually
show.
he's actually not French.
Really?
He's actually not French. No,
Fooled me.
He's from Israel.
Cool.
Ah,
That's right. He is.
good, good accent.
That's a very good accent.
Yeah.
So before we get too far in the story, he's your favorite character, George. Tell
Yeah.
us why he's your favorite character.
Well, I'm sure they'll learn later on when he starts. You see his character development. You see him, and I don't want to talk. I'll talk about it more later on because
Okay.
I don't want to
Spoil it.
spoil anything for our lovely viewers right now. So
Yeah.
he is my favorite character in
So-
the show.
So Butcher and Huey arrive at Frenchie's kind of hideout place, I guess you'd say. His lady friend, his girlfriend, answers the door. Her name is Cherie, which is
Sherry.
close to Cherry, which is another Cherry reference
Ah,
to this
I didn't catch
episode.
that.
There's a couple of references to Cherry in this episode. So anyway, they're there, and right away, we tell that Butcher knows Frenchie, obviously, and he owes him money.
Yeah.
He owes him like $40,000. So Butcher says, "Oh, well, you know what? I've got a better thing. We can double your money." And Frenchie has the line, "Well, what's the double of zero?" It's zero. So they go out to the car. They open up the trunk. They showed Frenchie Translucent. And of course, they have to like shock him because he's
He's like, "What are you
invisible.
showing me?"
Yeah.
What are you showing me?
And we're off. The episode started, and then, but right away, Frenchie mentioned something that I think that's pretty important. He goes, superheroes are chipped, so they can track them. They
Yeah.
have a tracking device in their bodies somewhere or whatever.
It's very disturbing.
Yeah, and so now, like it or not, Frenchie's involved.
Yeah.
He's in the situation.
Yep.
So what do y'all think so far about this episode, or just what's going on?
Well, you can tell that Butcher has a personal like I mean, as the story goes on, you find out why. But in episode 2, you can tell he has a personal interest of bringing them down, and like it's a very relentless approach by him, because even Huey lost his girlfriend, and he's still apprehensive about, look, I think we're in too deep, and Butcher has no hesitation at all. Like, no, we need to go after these guys. So like, I think you get an idea of like what of how personal it is as far as the level of I guess of the personal aspect that Butcher has for him, has for these superheroes. Yeah. So I appreciated that. I think he's a mad. At this point, I'm like, this guy's a madman. Why is he doing all of this?
Yeah.
You know, just to help out Huey. But yeah.
Yeah. I think the fact, and we'll learn this later on in upcoming episodes too, Butcher brings in these individuals, Frenchie being one of them, because, and I think one of us mentioned it in last episode of our podcast, they've all been affected by the superheroes in one way or another. So just to see how that kind of plays out into later episodes, how they work together, and it's like a love-hate relationship even with Frenchie and Butcher right now. It's a love-hate relationship because, you know, Butcher owes money, but Frenchie's now dragged into this thing, and he's going to eventually become a little bit more interested. And
That seems to be the ongoing theme with everybody that's around
love-hate.
Butcher. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a love-hate relationship with him.
Yeah.
And they get dragged into stuff.
Exactly.
All of them, every single one of
Yeah.
them.
Yep.
Yeah, so.
What I think is crazy is how Vought keeps tabs on all these guys. They have the power to just literally chip them if they do something they don't want. Maybe they can get Homelander, take them out, or whatever. But I just think that's crazy that they have that much power that they can do that.
They're basically products for this company.
Yes,
That's what they're
exactly.
seeing. Yeah.
So I think that's just crazy to see, especially like what happens later on and how, like, what if you have like a rogue superhero? What are you gonna do?
Yeah. Well, they're trying to safeguard that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So we go from the boys being in a bad situation to one of the funniest moments in the series.
So messed up.
We have A-Train, as you know from the last episode. That's Frank's favorite. He is the speedster. He's the flashlight character. He goes to visit a terminally ill kid. It's a Make-A-Wish kid. Like his dying wish is to meet a superhero. Now, he wants to meet Translucent. Unfortunately, Translucent is on a secret
trunk.
mission. Or in a trunk. But as A-Train tells the kid, you know, he's on a secret mission. That's why he can't be there. So
Right.
it's a funny, it's like about a minute and a half scene. A-Train walks in, you know, there's cameras and there's people clapping and balloons and stuff, and he gives the kid the gift. And the kid, the way the kid says thanks, he's just like, thanks. Like,
Well, and
you
all-
can tell he does not want any part of A-Train. He's like,
Right.
couldn't care less.
But
Yeah.
this too is also being like a
Live
Facebook
stream on
live
Facebook
stream.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you're seeing all the
Right.
reactions
So,
of
yeah.
people.
That's the funniest part because like you can see everyone happy at first and then the
Like
laughing
love,
emojis
like-
and then it just turns sad and
Yeah.
angry. It's hilarious.
So the kid's super bummed out because not only does he have cancer, but he wanted to meet Translucent, and that was his.
We're not
his-
laughing that he has cancer.
No, not one bit.
Not at
Not one
all,
bit.
just so you know.
I didn't laugh. So
Wow.
the kid's his only wish is to meet Translucent, and he makes that point clear. And this is the next really funny part is A-Train's just trying to appease the kid. The camera's rolling. He's trying to make him feel better. And he goes, well, maybe Translucent can swing by next week. He looks up, makes eye contact with the doctor. The doctor he goes, no, because the kid, he's about to die. Like he's about to be done.
Not looking good for him.
That's really funny. And then A-Train, you know, just trying to make the best out of a bad scenario. Nathan back there is cracking
He is
up.
turning
Face
so
red.
red.
Childhood cancer is hilarious.
Oh
And
my
Oh
Nathan-
my gosh.
No, of course it's not. I'm kidding.
Oh my gosh. You guys are awful.
But in this case, it's pretty funny. So A-Train's like struggling. He's trying to like make the best of the situation, and he goes, "Hey, maybe once you get better, I'll show you how to run as fast as I can." The kid, like, without losing, like, without
missing a
breaking,
beat.
yeah, he looks at him. He says, "You'll teach me how to outrun cancer." And A-Train just like collapses, and he's like,
And so with the Facebook Live, all the reactions are going from hearts to
To
likes
mad.
to the angry, mainly angry.
Yeah, towards the end.
But you just saw the progression of how bad this meeting was just going.
Again, if you're listening or watching this, which we appreciate it,
Yeah.
you have to watch this scene. Otherwise, you will not understand. Like,
It's hilarious.
kids
it's way funnier.
kids being sick is not funny at all.
No.
But this is the way they do this scene is so hilarious. It's probably the funniest scene of the whole show of all 8 episodes, in my opinion.
Do you know?
There's a couple, but we'll get to
Yeah.
those.
Do you know what it reminds me of? Is from Chappelle's Show when he played,
yeah,
played
playing video
basketball
games?
with
Yes.
video games with the kid
Oh,
that has
yeah.
cancer.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
took
yeah.
that from this and they just
Actually-
they made it their own.
I watched that last week. I was thinking about that. He's like, come on, Billy, come on, Billy. Like, the kid's like dying and he's beating him. He's like, I got an Xbox too. I got PlayStation at home also.
And then the kid passes out and he calls a nurse. They bring him back to life. He's like, here, come on.
Yeah, come on.
And then he beats him and then they leave.
Oh my god.
But like,
that was funny.
But like, not to sound like an A-Train groupie, because I am. But to his defense, what was he supposed to do in that situation? Like he was thrown into that situation as a backup. So
I know.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna
Let's
say
see.
it before
Okay,
you
go
do.
ahead.
He needs to be scripted. That's what happened.
But
Or use your super speed and get out of there.
No,
It's like, bail.
No, but for real, the kid was already upset that it wasn't translucent. So A-Train was already digging himself in a hole the minute he walked into the hospital room.
Yeah.
He didn't want A-Train there. Like he was like,
Well, it was either that or there was no,
No
superhero that
superhero,
showed up
so-
anyway.
Yeah.
yeah,
He
I
was
feel like that would have been better.
yeah. But that part would have been
Right.
like, either way.
The
Like,
kid was gonna be disappointed.
he was gonna be-
regardless.
because
Yeah.
it seemed like Translucent was his favorite superhero, so
Yeah.
he was gonna be
Yeah.
upset either way it went. So
Yeah.
you know,
Okay.
A-Train, I got your back, bro.
I just
You
thought of
good,
this.
man.
I just thought of this. I mean, Translucent's invisible. They could just say he's there. I mean,
That's true. What are they?
so
Yeah.
that's,
He's
They
with
just
you
turn
in
on like a
spirit.
microphone or something.
that would have been funnier, honestly.
Oh my god.
So, anyway,
But
Amazon,
still-
if you're watching, free tip.
But Stillwell, is watching the playback of this whole meeting with Make-A-Wish patient, and she tells the PR lady, I can't remember her
Ashley's
name.
her name,
Ashley,
yeah.
thank you. A-Train needs to be scripted. He can't go and do this ad lib entirely. Like, there's just no way.
Clearly.
Rightfully so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So from there, we catch up with Starlight, who we saw in the first episode,
Mm-hmm.
and she meets with Black Noir. It's kind of a brief scene just in the hallway at Vought, and Black Noir does not talk, and so it's a very awkward little interaction. So at this point of the show, what do y'all think about Black Noir?
Cool character.
When I-
Doesn't say much, but
Yeah, like I know
Super chill.
when somebody that quiet of a character, something's huge, like there's something in store.
Right.
Because we already know he's powerful because if he's in the 7, he's one of the probably most 7 powerful superheroes in the world. So like, I'm thinking to myself, he has to be some type of safeguard in case somebody goes rogue, or he's like the bodyguard to protect Vought probably.
Right. And
Yeah,
he
so-
doesn't talk here, but do we know if he talks or not? Because in the first episode, and Nathan pointed this out the other day, in the first episode, they're going around the room, around the table, and Homelander's asking them about,
Yeah.
what they've done recently. And he says, let's start with Black Noir.
Yeah.
And then, of course, they cut it.
And
So
then
we
they-
don't know if he can talk or not. I mean, we don't think he can, but what do y'all think about that?
that's true. That's a good point. I didn't think of that, but I think
guess that.
I think he
he
does.
probably did. He probably does talk.
He has to
I
talk,
guess,
otherwise it would be like a talking point of Black Noir doesn't talk.
I mean, they
But,
make
I
it
mean,
seem
he
that
doesn't
way though.
talk
Yeah,
anytime
at
we
all.
see him.
We don't.
Yeah,
we
any
don't
of the
see
scenes
it.
doesn't
Yeah, but
talk.
just because we don't see it doesn't mean that he
Yeah.
does.
That's what I'm asking. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I
But
think
that's
he
a good
does.
point.
I think
Yeah.
he does, because otherwise, well, I don't know, because the encounter that Starlight does have with Black Noir follows that meeting, so
Yeah.
maybe not.
And there are a couple of fighting encounters later on in the season. He doesn't say a word.
Nope.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Nope.
yeah. So I don't know.
I guess we'll find out.
Well, he's the first of 2 characters in this series that doesn't talk, so maybe there's a pattern.
Yeah.
Who's the other?
Female.
Female.
Who?
Female of the species?
The female.
Ah.
Yeah.
We'll get to that episode, number 3, number 4?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Couple weeks.
Yeah.
Okay, so from there we visit the Vought crime analytics department. They have like a laboratory where they have people who are constantly just like crunching the numbers, trying to figure out where crimes are going to happen, so they can send their superheroes there to make them save, and so they can record it and put it on social media and all kinds of stuff. So the rep meets with Starlight and Ashley, who's kind of Starlight's like PR person or whatever, her kind of right-hand person. And they give Starlight a crime itinerary, which kind of looks like a shot sheet for like people who have, if you haven't done any kind of TV stuff, that's what it looks like to me. And so Starlight's set to have a team up with, of course, the Deep.
Naturally.
The person she'd least want to have a team up with.
Yep.
And it's kind of funny. They're explaining, well, she's saying, well, back in Iowa, like I did all my own investigative work. I did everything on my own. They're like, yeah, that's great. We love you. But, there's, analytics show that like whenever we have team ups, then we get way more mentions on social media and people love team ups basically. That's it's just kind of funny how like everything is motivated by analytics or by
That's terrible.
profit margin or whatever.
Buzzwords.
That's awful.
It's the walking reminder that saving people is not the main objective.
Which is
it's
definitely a
good.
surprise to her because
Yeah.
she did not expect that. She just
No.
wants to actually help people.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So from here we see the boys. They've got Translucent still in the back of the car, and they're taken into a Tony Cicero's restaurant, which I wasn't familiar with. It's actually a restaurant chain.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, I've never seen one. Maybe they're like in certain, maybe the
Probably.
Northeast or
Yeah,
something.
probably
or-
up there.
I don't know. Anyway, they put him in. They go to this rundown restaurant, and they're going to use that as their new hideout for keeping Translucent. They create an electrified cage to put him in, and they all kind of talk about how, like, how they're trying to figure out how to kill him. And they realize that his skin is diamond hard, so you can't penetrate the
penetrate it.
skin.
Yeah.
And at this point, Huey realizes, hey, they're really going to kill this guy.
Yeah.
Like, and you can kind of see like his innocence of like, oh, I thought we were just going to interrogate the guy or talk to him, but no, like we're going to kill him.
Yeah.
And Butcher has a great line. He's like, "What do you think we brought him here for? A Happy Meal?" He says some other words that we can't say, but then you have a good back and forth between Huey and Butcher, and Huey turns to Butcher and says, "I'm not a murderer," and Butcher says, "Well, good thing. That's okay because I am, and this is what we have to do." It's a pretty powerful part of the show. 'Cause
Yeah.
It really shows, like, even though Butcher is positioned as the lead good guy, he's gonna kill somebody, and he doesn't have a problem with it. In fact, he thinks like, that's his whole goal. He wants to kill all these superheroes.
Because at this point, we don't know his motivation or why he
Right.
wants,
No,
he
we
wants to
don't.
wipe all
His
these.
backstory,
Because
yeah.
in his mind, all supes are bad. Like
Right.
there's no black and white. There's no in between. There's no gray. I mean, there's no gray.
It's black
just
and
black and
white.
white. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry to screw that up. Yeah, like in Huey. Again, Huey's mental fortitude to me is amazing. Like his girlfriend just got slaughtered the episode before, and he's, and all accounts, is handling it well. He still wants, a somewhat peace between him and Vought. I'm like, man, you are a special, unique individual. Because I would want blood if my little one got chopped down like that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I think Huey played a role in trying to block the signal from getting
did.
out because
Right.
he's the one that created and told him to put foil on top so the signal wouldn't get out for them to find him
Right.
so Homelander wouldn't show up.
Yeah. See, I wasn't sure. Like, are they just in this restaurant? Are they like in the basement of this restaurant?
I think it's like a fridge or something. It
Okay.
seems like it was like an old
Okay.
abandoned fridge or
Yeah.
something. That's why they could
Yeah.
close the door and then just keep him in there,
okay.
isolated from everybody.
Okay. So the next scene we see Stillwell's watching TV, and we see she's flipping channels, and we see like kind of Vaught's like domination of TV, kind of like what Marvel has with TV and commercials. And if you go to the grocery store, you see like Marvel characters on all kinds of products and stuff.
Yeah.
Same way with Vought. So we see she's switching channels, and you see Shockwave, who apparently is this other super fast hero who is preparing for the race of the century, and it's on ESPN, which I was impressed they had ESPN.
The Ocho?
I don't know if it's the Ocho, but what movie is that from?
The dodgeball.
Dodgeball. Okay, I knew it was something with it was Dodge something.
It's just like all those
Ball,
random sports
Yeah.
that would
Yeah,
never
right.
be on ESPN.
That's
But yeah, it's actually ESPN. It's actually an ESPN reporter, Mike Massaro, who is he used to be a NASCAR reporter. I think he does college football now. But yeah, it was kind of cool. I was like, oh
Yeah.
wow, like they're using
Yeah.
real people that really do this stuff. They even have like a bottom line that looks very real.
Yeah.
ESPN's kind of garbage headlines on the left. So let's see where am I? Okay,
so she's flipping channels.
Flipping channels. The next thing is we see a commercial for a Junior Homelander cuddle doll, which I thought was kind of funny. Which Can't wait till those are available
Oh, gosh.
for actual purchase here. 'cause
Does
I'm
the
sure-
laser eyes like light up whenever they squeezed it, right?
I don't
or
think
something
so.
like that?
Maybe
No?
they do. Maybe they
Okay,
do.
I don't know.
But they do say
That
something
would've
like,
been creepy.
I think you like squeeze him and he says something like, "I'll protect you," or it's something like that. That is said.
Oh, I know what y'all are getting for Christmas if that comes out.
Holla at me when the A-Tron won't come out, man.
Oh my goodness.
But did you see
Well,
that
you know what? I'll get you translucent.
with those dolls?
Yeah.
Whenever
I wanna see it
they did the
first.
deep, the deep and Starlight mission.
Right, the
They
crowd.
they had drugs inside of them.
Right.
Inside the Homelander dolls.
Right. They took off the head.
Isn't that yeah?
Yep, that's true.
Homelander moving that weight.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
that's right.
And then she flips another channel.
Yeah, change the channel again, and we have the Deep, and he's on the VOT News Network, which looks very much like Fox News. Has the same kind of like red, white, and blue lettering and everything. Anyway, so the Deep is on TV, and he's saying that he found the wreckage of the Baltimore mayor whose plane went down in the end of the first episode. It
Due
was
to
brought-
Homelander.
Brought down by Homelander. So the Deep has found the plane, and he says that it appears to be engine failure. So they're basically using their other superhero
Totally
to
lying.
cover up for the Homelander killing the mayor of Baltimore.
Yes.
Yep.
So then we have. So after that, Stillwell I think flips off the TV, and then Homelander walks in, and Stillwell is a new mom, so she's got a breast pump, and she's doing that, and
Yeah.
he comes in. He asks if they found Translucent, so he's concerned about Translucent, and she basically tells him, "Don't worry about it. Like we'll
We're
find
ta-
him."
he's like, "We're
you know,
taking care of him."
We'll take care of it.
But it looks like Homeland's more concerned of like the perception of them looking weak, that one of their top guys is gone, more than, oh, I'm actually worried about
Yeah, him.
Translucent,
Yeah, no, for
the
sure.
person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? So it's
Absolutely.
like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not sure
He
what his
does care.
motives are, but he does. Yeah, it's definitely it's odd that he cares, but yeah,
Yeah.
he does.
Well, he has bigger things to worry about other than just, where Translucent is, because of the fact that there's evidence that the Deep found and brought back that potentially is.
Well, he basically snitched on him.
Yeah, he basically snitched
him
on
to
Homelander.
to Madeline.
But what's so weird to me is that they Stillwell didn't. Well, I don't want to get to it.
No, just go ahead. Talk.
Well, so Stillwell didn't know that Homelander did that, and then
Right.
and also Deep didn't know that Homelander brought them the plane. Because if he had known, I don't think he would have went to go find the plane.
But
I
the-
think he knew.
I think
Like
they
the-
all
the-
had a
'cause he
decent
had- he-
idea.
Yeah, they had an
I think
idea.
it's too
Yeah.
coincidental.
Because she said
There's a
something
guy-
about the laser, and remember he confronted the Deep. He's like, "Hey, if you ever do that, something like that again, like he was basically
end of
threatening
you.
him."
But it was afterwards, though.
Yeah. No, I understand what Frank's
Yeah.
saying. He's saying that the Deep didn't know that Homelander did
Brought
that.
down the plane.
And so he was telling
Then why would
Stillwell.
why would he tell Stillwell about the two laser beams, the size
Yeah,
of
No, no,
that
eyes?
was-
No, I
significant.
think what I got from that, I thought Deep told Stillwell what he found on the plane as far as the laser beams.
Yeah.
Because how would that Stillwell known? Deep found the plane underwater.
Yeah.
So Deep had to see the laser beams on there and probably told Stillwell about it.
Yeah.
Because when Stillwell
That's what
mentioned to Homelander,
That's what happened.
but I'm saying I don't think Deep had no idea that
he didn't know that Homelander was going to do that before.
Yeah, he didn't know that. So there was no communication with it. Homelander
Yeah,
was.
I know that,
Yeah,
but I'm assuming he had to know
he-
that it was who else has
Right.
laser eyes. Like,
Having
how many people are going to go
seen-
around having laser eyes?
Okay, they haven't seen the episodes yet. Deep's not very intelligent. I mean, let's be frank here. No pun intended. But like he's not the sharpest tool in the shed. Like I really
Right.
think he
So you
was.
think he did it on accident?
Yeah, I really think he did because
I don't think so.
I don't think so
I'm
either.
with you. I
'cause
think
'cause I don't think he's that stupid to.
He wants to make it seem like he's more important here, or he wants more.
he wants to step up. He
wants
wants
to step
more
up.
attention. He
He's-
wants to be given more.
He's scared of Homelander. You think he purposely would do that to piss off Homelander? I don't think he's that bold.
If he gets above, I don't know.
It'll,
Maybe he gets
'cause-
more power or something. Does-
Because that scene of Homelander again, we're going way ahead. I'm sorry, but that scene of Homelander
Yeah.
coming across Deep and saying, basically you snitched on me.
Yeah.
He looks frightened. Like
I mean, who wouldn't be?
no, but I'm saying like I'm someone who looks that frightened. I don't think will go ahead and like
I
try
think he
to.
just realized he's like, wow. He's like, I messed up. I should have done this another way or done something
Maybe.
else. But I do think that he did it on purpose.
I think so too. Or once he finally realized, obviously with the lasers, like what other superhero that
We know, yeah,
that we
yeah.
know that he knows that has the laser vision, and I'm sure he was terrified of even bringing it up to Stillwell because then it means what Homelander could do, not just to Deep, but also to Stillwell.
But you don't think that Stillwell, the authorities, and Deep all worked together to go find the plane wreckage in the first place? Because they didn't know it went down till Deep saw the
I'm sure Madeline got a call before that.
I'm
Like,
sure
hey,
she
the
did.
plane went down. I was like, okay, send the Deep up.
Yeah.
Go look at it.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure.
Probably by their crime analytics department.
There you
There
go.
you go. There you go.
They're on
Analytics.
top of it. Yeah. So the next thing we see, Huey is he's at the restaurant still, and he gets a call from his dad. His dad's obviously called him many times, and he's very worried about him. And his dad says some things I think that kind of set Huey off. Like he says, you know, he referenced Robin, who's Huey's girlfriend. He calls it Robin's accident. Immediately, Huey's like, it wasn't an accident. And then he tells him this stuff like, "You're a sensitive boy. You're a good boy. Please come home." And you can tell that just like sets off Huey, and then he like punches the wall, like just both hands, like
Quite bloodied.
yeah, right up against the Tony Cicero sign, and he leaves like bloody like knuckle prints, which I thought was pretty gruesome for that. Like I wasn't expecting that, I guess.
Yeah.
That would hurt.
I think it was a moment of truth for Huey because he's been a pushover his whole life. Like even in the first episode where he's trying to ask for a raise from his boss and how his boss kind of shoots him off. Like
Yeah.
that's been him his whole life. And I think that keeping the real moments when his dad basically told him, you're soft. It's okay. This is who you are.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't fret over it. And I think that was just the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah.
And he I think he's still trying to deal with Robin's death too, and seeing how his dad's kind of sensitive to it, and how everybody's trying to cover it up, and I think his all the emotions just boiled over for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
So the next thing we see is the Deep. He arrives for what he thinks is like a team meeting, and only Homelander's there. And he's like, "Hey, I'll come back now some other time." And he's like, "No, we're gonna meet. Me and you are gonna meet."
Love this scene.
Sit down.
And if you do you want to talk about it? Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I didn't have much to say. I was just gonna say like Homelander just kind of intimidates him and threatens him,
Yeah.
and Deep
Kinda
basically
covered it.
backpedals
Yeah.
and says, "Hey, I'm not sure what I saw, and I'm sorry." And
I was so scared I thought at this point Deep might have a 2-episode run. I
Yeah.
really thought he was either gonna laser beam him or crush his head like a soda can. Like the level of intimidation of him walking around him and basically say without saying, I'm that dude. Don't
Yeah.
mess with me.
puts his hand on his throat.
Yeah, like it was, and like he kind of caresses his shoulders a little bit. It was like,
Yeah.
it's like he's gonna kill this dude. Like the intimidation factor about this guy. Anthony Starr, is that his name?
Yeah.
Anthony Starr.
Antony.
Anthony Starr.
Anthony.
Anthony.
That
Yeah,
dude
there's
can
no
act.
age.
That
Yeah.
dude is cold. Like that scene gave me chills. I'm like, oh my god, he's about to kill Chase Crawford. Oh my goodness, this is not cool. I love Tony Roman's brother-in-law.
God.
Sorry.
God. Is it in this encounter too that Homelander tells Deep to pretty much go screw a porpoise or a dolphin or something
Dolphin.
like that?
I think it was
He says
Dolphin,
Shamu.
right? Shamu?
Shamu.
Yeah,
He says
okay.
Shamu.
Yeah.
I was like, that's so mean.
Like, he's a bully. He's like the biggest bully on the yard, but he
He's
does it
America's
with
bully.
but he does it with such pizzazz though. Like it's like he really is America's version of the bully version of Captain America. Like it's awesome to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
So now we're back at the restaurant, and Frenchie, who's like kind of a mad scientist, he's like an arms dealer, he's a chemist, he's an engineer, he's kind of just like
A little bit
He's
of
a
everything,
Renaissance man.
honestly.
he's like a
he
jack
is.
of all trades.
He's a
and
Renaissance
Yeah.
man.
maybe he's a master of a few of them too. And so anyway, he's trying to figure out a way to kill Translucent, and so he creates this bullet. It's some kind of like super powered bullet to try to pierce the diamond hard skin that Translucent has, and it doesn't work. Like Butcher grabs the gun, goes right in there, fires, hits
Yeah.
Translucent, bounces off his skin, bounces all around.
And then makes a hole in the roof,
Right.
and then they get the signal.
Right.
The
That's
level of
awesome.
trash talk Translucent said afterwards was
Yeah, yeah.
we can't say what
Yeah.
he said, but
Yeah,
it was.
we
yeah,
can
it was
say
pretty
none of
funny.
it
Yeah,
except
you
for
can't-
I'm
I
a
can't say any of it.
superhero, and yeah, I'm
You gotta watch the
invincible.
show. Like his comeback after that was hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Then
so-
Butcher leaves.
Yeah, he leaves because he decided, well, I've done my job here, so I'm going to go try. Let's see if there's something else that maybe can, let's try a long shot. Let's
Yeah.
give another shot at this, some other kind of option. So we skip to the next scene. Stillwell is now visiting the crime analytics lab, and she's trying to find the whereabouts of Translucent. So
Yeah.
the top people are on the case trying to find this guy. So you feel like, hey, something's about to happen with this character at some point because they've had him for, the entire episode and what's going down. So at this point, the next thing we see is Starlight and the Deep are going on their team up. It's a night mission, but it's also a water adjacent crime. And the Deep has a great little line where he's talking about how he thinks he can do so much more than just water crimes. And he's
Yeah.
like, they only call me when it's like in a river or a lake or a jetty or a pond. And you're just like, yeah, because you're the water guy, dude. Like, you're mentioning, he's like, a canal. It's like, that's all water related things. Like, it just makes sense.
Yeah.
You wouldn't send the electricity guy to that one, So it's just a funny moment because then he's like, they just want me to do my big dives and my flash my
muscles,
biceps for Instagram. I mean, it's 4 million hits a day or whatever, but whatever. And it's so funny. And then of course Starlight, she's not having any of it because of what happened in the first episode,
Right.
and she basically just tells him, like, I'm going to kill you if you ever try to do that again. And she seems pretty. Seems like she got to him a little bit.
But he's like shocked. But he's like, oh my god, are you still mad about that?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You sexually assaulted me. What do you think? Like he kind of
Yeah.
just shoot it under the table, under the rug.
Yeah.
It's amazing how so many current issues are
Oh, man.
in this show,
Yeah.
and how it's played off the same way. You know what I mean? It's just crazy.
The writing's incredible. George showed me a meme a couple weeks ago of how America views America.
Oh yeah.
And then how America really is. It's like Superman in the cave, and then how America really is, and it's Homelander waving. I'm
Yeah.
like, wow.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That was really, really good.
We'll post that.
That's really good. Yeah.
So the Deep and Starlight, their team up is successful. They stop the bad guys, and as you mentioned before, the bad guys are smoking drugs using
With Homelander's
Homelander dolls,
dolls,
the
yeah.
cuddle dolls.
So what I don't understand, was they set all that up? That was real? Because the cameras popped out of nowhere right
Yeah,
after, and I was like,
you
"What
know,
is this? Like a TV show?"
It's part of their analytics or their whole they want to cover everything.
Is it like live PD?
That's so,
sort of like that?
Kinda
Yeah.
like
That's
PD? Okay.
ridiculous.
See,
Like,
I took it that was staged. So that wasn't staged?
see that?
No, they. I mean,
So that was a real crime.
they know crimes are about to happen. I mean, it's staged. I don't
Because
think
the
that they.
analytics.
Oh, because it's the satellite. Because I remember
Yeah.
episode 1, Homeland was like, we have not Homeland. Dude was like, we have X amount of satellites over
Yeah.
the world and whatever.
Right.
And so the crime. So that was actual crime going on.
Right.
That wasn't a staged
Right,
crime.
right. Yeah.
So is it even a crime now? Like, because they could stop it so easily. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, but I mean,
So they just walk in the cameras. They know nothing's gonna happen to them, so they're just recording everything and just literally doing this for social media.
Yeah, I mean, the second that the bad guys are subdued, the social media, the VOT team swoops in and they're just like, hey, getting photos and getting videos.
And then they have
Ashley-
them do the lines.
Yeah,
Like,
like she tells Starlight, stand over her and say, this is lit. Like that's like your catchphrase or something, and she doesn't do it. And then also in this scene, another reference to Cherry, the Deep looks at one of the camera guys that he knows his name. He says, hey, wasn't my dive Cherry? He says another word, but he says Cherry. So it's like we get these references to Cherry all throughout the episode.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so after the team up, we see Butcher, and he breaks into the home of CIA Deputy Director Susan Rayner, and they have a history, obviously. And he's there because he's trying to get hold of these Mallory files, which we don't really know what that is right now, but apparently it's information about Soups that he hopes they can use to kill him. And he's looking for the files for 3 Soups in particular, but he does mention Translucent.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
Um,
But she
which I'll think
refuses to.
Yeah, she refuses to
provide
give it the
that.
information. Yeah.
Right.
He's a bold one. This
Yeah.
Butcher guy. Like you break into a USA, it was a federal
CIA.
CIA,
director's
yeah.
house. Like you're a bold one for that, bro.
Yeah. So now we're back at the restaurant, and Huey brings Translucent a glass of water. And it's kind of funny because the water is in a VOT commemorative cup that has Homelander on it. And Translucent is just waiting for Homelander to swoop in and save him because he
Yeah.
thinks that's what's going to happen. Anyway, so he gives him the water. Translucent happily drinks the water, and Huey starts asking him questions about A-Train and killing Robin. And basically, Translucent tells Huey, you're in over your head. You need to run for the hills. You need to get out of here because, I'm a superhero. and we fight gangs and terrorists, and like you're just some scared kid, and I'm not the one who's trapped. You are, basically, is what he says. So
Little did he know that was the pep talk that Huey needed to hear.
I know,
Yeah.
I know. It's like he was just like, because Huey was like ready to like maybe like, hey, I'm the only one on your side. I might just let you go, and then it's like he's just motivating you, to kill,
Yep.
to kill this guy.
Yep.
So after this scene, you see Huey, and he's like freaking out, and he's about to break. Like you can tell, like he's about to break bad or become a killer or murderer or however you want to say it. There's a lot of that imagery in this episode with him.
Oh, yeah.
And him looking at, there's like a poster on the wall that
That
shows
was
a
a
little
baby.
kid, and it says don't get your hands dirty or whatever. And the kid has food all over his face and stuff. It's spaghetti because it's the Italian
Yeah.
restaurant.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
a lot of imagery like that.
Yeah.
Kind of cool stuff. So now we go to Vought is hosting a charitable event, and members of Congress are there, and they're kind of whining and dining them at this event. And this event is organized by Samaritan's Embrace, which is affiliated with Vought, and it's a kind of a religious organization that we'll learn more about in coming episodes. Anyway, the Soups are there, and they're chatting up the politicians. Queen Maeve is there, and Homelander's there. Black Noir is there. He even had like a soda. He had like a Sprite or
Yeah.
something in the bottle.
Yeah.
And he's trying to get the attention of a waiter, but the person passes by.
Yeah.
So even though he's not invisible,
And that's the
he's-
reason. That's another reason I don't think he could talk. Cause like if he could talk, he would say waiter or something.
Yeah, or
like-
maybe
But maybe that's just part of his like superhero persona.
his character.
He's just not supposed to talk. And if he does talk, then
If I was that thirsty, I would have talked. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like, no, give me a soda, please. I'm parched. Yes.
just
Just saying.
Yeah.
so refined, Frank.
I'm saying,
I'm parched.
It's a very quick scene, but you're touched by it.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
'Cause I know
He
it feels,
felt that on another level.
Yeah.
I know it feels to be thirsty in more ways than one. So I'm
Yeah.
like, you
Oh
have to
my
you have to be
God.
able to quench that thirst.
Thirsty.
That's your
exa-
friend.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sprite? Is that?
That's your friend.
Quench your thirst.
Sure,
Quench your thirst.
That's how you
sure.
do it.
We can call it Sprite.
Okay. So
Well, someone else's thirst is going to be quenched, and that is the Oklahoma senator.
Good
that's-
transition.
yeah, his last
That was
name
good.
is-
We
Senator-
planned that, by the way.
No, we
No,
did
we
not.
We did.
God, I
plan
get
that.
no credit. I get no. These are Justin's notes, okay? I get no credit for coming up with something
Yeah.
off the dome.
Anybody who
did.
anybody who
Thank you,
watches
thank
this
you, I
listens,
appreciate
they know we planned none of this. So, or hopefully they can figure that out.
Oh,
So we see Senator Calhoun. He's the guy from Oklahoma. He's
Yeah.
apparently in charge of this committee. He's the chairman of this committee who's going to decide whether or not superheroes can be in the military or not.
Yeah.
What Stillwell wants nothing. She wants her goal right now is to secure a contract with the military, get her superheroes in there.
Get that moolah.
Yeah.
Basically, he's saying no.
He's saying no one wants her superheroes
Yeah. No.
because they're her superheroes. We're not going to outsource to you.
Yeah.
The one thing America does, and this is what he says the only thing we make anymore is weapons. That's all we do.
Yeah.
So like we're got that covered.
Yeah.
We've got bases full of soldiers. We've got all kinds of bombs and weapons. We're good on that front. We don't need your superheroes.
Yeah.
Honestly,
So-
I don't think that's true. America makes American they import everything. Like everything is either made
No,
in
he's
China,
saying
made in
all we
Taiwan.
make is bombs and stuff.
Oh, bombs and stuff.
Weapons.
Oh,
Yeah.
Weapons.
Okay.
Like that's the one thing we
Like
make.
actual U.S.
Oh.
made.
Yeah, made
Gotcha.
in the USA. Yeah.
Good old USA.
So she's trying to convince him, and he's having a drink at the bar, and we're gonna see where that goes.
You see him catching with the like flirting with that waiter.
With
that
the
was
waitress,
behind the,
yeah.
behind
Yeah.
the bar or the
Yeah.
bartender.
Her name is Rhonda, so we'll see her in a little bit.
We'll see Rhonda again.
So the next thing we see Annie, and she's just out on the streets in her Annie January.
Just a regular-
yeah,
Not Starlight,
Yeah.
but Annie January.
yeah. Her
So do
Her civilian
not
persona.
do people not recognize them, or do they just not go up to him?
I don't think they recognize
I don't think
him.
they recognize
and
him.
maybe she's so new too.
Yeah,
I
that
don't
too.
know.
I'd be like, "Hey, Starlight, what are you doing out here?"
Because
Right.
if you notice that she's the only one of the 7 who actually has a civilian kind of disguise or persona, whereas Maeve, Homelander, Deep, they always
Yeah.
are in their superhero
That's true.
costumes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Annie's out on the street. She sees a rape about to go down. She tells the woman to close your eyes, run away. She beats up the guys who are attempting the rape. But unbeknownst to her, someone is recording it on a cell phone. They get the video. It becomes a bad deal for her because, the girl's nowhere to be seen.
Right.
These guys who are apparently frat guys claim that, they were attacked by this superhero. Now
They're just
her
mad because they got their butts whooped.
yeah. And now her secret identity is blown because people are commenting on YouTube that, she's, this is Annie January, and I knew her from high school, and she's
Yeah.
bulimic and stuff like that. And so,
Oh, that's right. That's so mean.
and of course, her agent, Ashley, hates this.
Yeah.
She loses her
Furious.
mind. They have a little confrontation where she's like, all the negative exposure you brought yourself, and now you're going to have to face the legal implications, and, so it becomes a mess with Ashley and Annie.
Which I don't think is really a big deal because this is a multi-billion-dollar company. You can just pay off everybody else like you pay off everybody
Yeah,
else.
I mean, if you
I
could
mean-
have one of your heroes run through a person
Exactly.
and kill them.
That's
That's what I'm saying.
exactly
This is-
what I was gonna say.
this
This
is like-
is nothing.
This is small
Yeah.
potatoes compared
Yeah.
to what A-Train
But
did.
I think
Yeah.
for Ashley, she's mad because she knows that she'll be fired before the superhero. Just
Makes sense.
there's certain people that are more important than others.
Yeah.
Not that we know that from where we work, but that's the way life works. So anyway, so let's go. So the next scene we have Huey and Frenchie, and they're talking about Frenchie's past. I think this is a really good scene because you really get to know Frenchie a little bit,
Yeah.
and he's talking about how superheroes are magnificent creatures, and there's they're all different, and there's different ways to kill them, and it's very
He's very passionate about it.
yeah, and you can tell like Huey and him are kind of bonding. It's and you'll kind
Yeah.
of see this stuff in other episodes. Like the rest of the boys kind of bond together, and Butcher's just out. He's
Yeah.
the leader, but he's out on his own.
Yeah. Yep.
He's hell bent on killing Homelander or killing whomever, and like that's all he cares about. Whereas they're kind of a team, and he's just
Yeah, but that's kind of typical of a work situation where you have a boss or someone who's above you, and then you have the workers who
Yeah.
always bond together. And
maybe, but
there's always that
it's
separation.
Such a small team, though. There's only a few people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the personal origin story with Butcher is why he is the way he is.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
definitely.
So that plays a huge part.
Yeah, but we're not there yet.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like in general,
Yeah.
to the point that Justin was making.
But where we are now is where we see. So Stillwell was setting up Calhoun that whole evening. He actually went home with went to a hotel room with the waitress.
Yeah, it turns out Rhonda was Ted Cruz. Did that not look like him? That's what I thought, man.
Actually, no. I
For,
didn't think
for
so.
a second, I
Ted
thought it
Cruz?
looked like him, man. Yeah.
I mean,
It looked like Ted Cruz.
I was thinking about maybe Christie.
Are you talking about Governor Christie?
Yeah.
You are so much.
Yeah.
He looks like Governor Christie.
That one too.
You
Yeah.
guys are
Okay, that one
so
was
wrong.
Yeah.
one of those
speaking
guys.
of,
Do you mean
Christie-
Ted Cruz or Raphael? No, I'm just kidding.
so I have
Who's
a.
that?
That's his name. That's his actual
Oh,
name.
for real?
Raphael.
No way.
Oh.
Did not know that.
Go ahead.
So Governor Christie, I have a great joke about that. That's not my joke. I believe it's either Bill Maher or Jon Stewart. Anyway, they said that Governor Christie, they said that he was a type A personality with type 2 diabetes. Again, that's always made me laugh.
That's awful.
That's always made me laugh.
That's awful. Back
And
to
speaking
Calhoun.
of probably diabetes, the character, so Rhonda turns into a man in the
We made
middle.
fun of cancer and diabetes on the same episode. This is,
Yeah, we're really,
we need to go for the
And
trifecta.
politicians.
we're going for the trifecta. What's
Trifecta.
next? Yeah. The grand slam, once we figure out what that is.
Nathan's over here behind
Yeah.
the camera like, yes.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Pushing the old envelope. Getting lots of paper cuts in return.
Love it.
So the superhero.
The superhero that they've. So here's what happens Calhoun brings a waitress back to his hotel room or whatever.
Because he was very thirsty.
Yes, for a sexual
Smart.
encounter.
Like,
Right. So he's looking to get down with this person. In the middle of it, she blindfolds him and she becomes a man because it's actually a superhero named Doppelganger who can
turn into
Morph
shape
anybody.
and whatever.
Kind of like a Mystique.
We
sort of.
actually
Yeah.
saw this guy in the first episode at that club.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You remember?
Okay,
We can,
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's in the club. Just
He's in
trust
the
me
club.
on that one.
Yeah,
What?
okay.
Don't want to know what he's
One
doing.
thing I learned
Yeah.
from that scene, I'm never getting blindfolded ever again. Ever. That was scary.
Ever.
Yeah.
That was so,
it's
scary.
So it's happened.
It's happened before.
Wait, we can talk about this. This is a rated G show.
Sorry. I'm just, go ahead. Go ahead.
This could be the trifecta. This could be the next thing. I'm just trying to bring it home. That's all I'm trying to do.
So was Senator
so was
Calhoun.
Frank.
Yeah. He went the wrong way. Unbeknownst to him. As he said, it felt a little bit different. So anyway, so back to it.
I'm sorry.
Doppelganger.
So while he's blindfolded, the senator, this superhero who can change, like she said, Mystique can do, takes photos of him, and these are very incriminating photos.
Very
He's from Oklahoma,
incredible.
obviously. Homosexuality is not big
In Oklahoma?
in the Sooner State.
Yeah.
I mean, well, it probably is bigger than they know it is. But
Yeah.
let's be real.
Hey, wasn't Brokeback Mountain filmed in Oklahoma?
No, there's got to be mountains, right?
There's gotta be mountains, bro. Oh, yeah?
Oklahoma's pretty flat.
Oh, okay.
It is, man.
Oh, okay.
It is flat.
Man, I hope that I hope that no one quits this show because I can't quit you the whole. Anyway, so we're off the freaking rails, and I said freaking, and I did that on purpose.
So there were actual mountains in Brokeback Mountain? I've never seen Brokeback Mountain.
Can we
never-
not
sorry.
talk about this?
Mountain is in the title.
Listen, we will do a bonus basement talk
an actual
on
mountain
this
called
movie
Brokeback
if you want.
I'm
We
sorry.
need to stay fixed on the boys so we can finish it and then move on to.
Continue,
Yeah.
Justin. I'm sorry.
Okay, so
Yes.
the
all
doppelganger
I'm here for
superhero has taken incriminating photos of Calhoun, and then Stillwell uses those photos to get him to basically, hey, let's get superheroes into.
To pass this bill and to go to Congress and all that.
So now we're at that spot. So now, so Annie, once again, she's still in the building. She runs into Homelander, another awkward encounter with a superhero.
Yeah.
He is just staring straight headlong into a photo of himself, which is very
Large
strange.
photo.
They chat for a little bit. At this point, he tells her, he's like, he's like, oh, is that your secret identity? And she's like, yeah. He's like, okay, that's kind of cute or whatever. And he said, like, I gave up on mine a long time ago. So obviously he had his super, like he was,
Foreshadowing.
yeah, his Clark Kent persona, he gave up on that.
Yeah.
It's something.
Yeah.
But
So,
I didn't take that literally though.
oh,
Did y'all?
yeah, I think he had a name.
Like an actual name?
Because they referred, well, later on we find out.
Yeah.
more, but yeah.
Yeah.
I think he had a Clark Kent kind of thing.
You
Yeah,
think so?
Yeah.
I do too. I agree.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's valid.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But as
I
he's
don't think he
looking
did.
into,
I didn't
I
think
don't
he
think he
did either.
did.
Yeah, I think
I don't think he did at
it was
all.
more.
No, I think he does.
I think
'Cause
he
they
does,
mention
too.
his name later in the show.
No, but
I'm thinking about later on,
I'm thinking
too.
about later on. Too. I'm thinking about
That
what
scene?
his
The-
life before, as far as like what he
how
lost.
about
Okay,
we will
yeah.
talk about
Yes.
that when we get to that episode.
But yeah.
But for this episode, we see that Homelander is staring into the picture, just as Justin said, and he's using his X-ray vision to be a creeper and watch Stillwell in her office as she's using her breast pump and she's on the phone and what have you. But he really looks, he looks really pissed off, like really, really angry at, is it her or is it what?
Yeah.
We
it's
just
hard
know,
to-
we
it's
just know
hard
that
to
he's
tell.
very angry.
Yeah.
He's definitely upset in some way.
Right.
So, next part, this is a key part. Frenchie, they're at the restaurant. Frenchie's still trying to figure out how to kill Translucent.
Yep.
They have like National Geographic on TV or something going on, and they show a turtle, and he's like, Eureka, that's how I do it.
Turtle.
So this gives him the idea of, okay, turtles have hard shells, but
Yes.
they're soft in the middle. So
Like an Oreo.
Translucent has a hard shell.
Oreo's
Yeah.
up in the middle.
Okay,
Right.
I just wasn't expecting the Oreo
They are.
analogy, but okay.
They
Okay.
are.
There was nothing derogatory about that line.
I know
Oreos
that.
are-
I know that.
Yeah,
It was
it's
just
just
funny.
a weird
Yeah,
analogy.
give me some credit, guys. I'm not. My mind's not to go to all the time.
It is most
No
of the
one
time.
said that.
You get that look like it was.
No, it was just
That was
funny.
kind of hurtful.
So
Oh my
Frenchie
God.
has an idea to kill Translucent. Homelander is back in the crime analytics lab, and he is still looking for Translucent
Yes.
because again, persona of the Seven is important, and they've already lost what's his name,
Lamplighter.
Lamplighter, replaced with Starlight, who is going to have some impending problems, if you will.
Some legal matters that's
Some
just to
legal
handle.
matters, and Homelander can't have that.
Yeah. So Homelander's on the case. He's looking for Translucent. And in this time, Frenchie decides, here's how we're going to do it. We're going to take a C4 explosive and we're going to insert it into our guy, Translucent. And they point out, hey, like, if you put it in his mouth, he could throw up.
Gag it up.
But there's another way to
whatever.
put it in. And that's the way they go.
Yep.
So,
It's in the form of a colonoscopy.
yeah, they insert it in his colon. Right. So at this point, Translucent realizes that even though he's a superhero, he can be blown up you know, he's in a bad spot. Probably a few worse spots than what he's in.
Oh.
And so he kind of fearfully tells, like, he reveals all he knows about A-Train because he was A-Train's friend. He said
Yeah.
A-Train was with his girlfriend after he
Killed Robin.
ran through Robin and killed her.
Pop Claw.
Right.
Popclaw.
Her name is Popclaw.
I hate that
Terrible
name
name.
so
Yeah.
much. Oh my
Terrible.
God.
Yeah, it is a really bad
That's an
name.
awful name.
Just like the boys.
What if it was called, like, something else? Like, what if it was, like, Los Niños?
Still terrible.
And it was a telenovela. Would you like it better or
No.
worse? Okay.
No.
Okay. Hey, back to the show, I guess.
Los Muchachos?
Los
Los
Muchachos,
Muchachos?
there we go.
That's better.
That's better.
No, we need something a little bit more gangster than just the boys or the kids. Anyway.
I would still watch that novella, just so you know.
Okay. So, anyway, Homelander's in the area. The boys are freaking out. They have to, like, throw him off the trail.
You mean Los Niños?
Los Niños, yeah. So Butcher and Frenchie get to their coche, also known as a van in this case.
That's not what that is, but okay.
Well, it's a car. It's
Close
an
enough, it's close
automobile.
enough, but okay.
Whatever.
Leave it to Justin.
I had 4 years of Spanish in North Texas, and it turned out okay. Anyway,
Did it though?
yeah, well, I mean, I'm here on TV talking to people, so probably like not
In Spanish.
many people.
Spanish.
And using
In
Spanish.
Spanish,
Next to people who, you know,
Yeah.
one for sure does speak Spanish. So,
Okay, let's
so
finish show this
Homelander's on the
episode.
way. Butcher and Frenchie are going to leave the van. They leave in a van. Sorry, I cannot.
They
talk
said
right
they'd
now.
leave in Atlanta. I
In
was like,
Atlanta. Well, that's a whole other issue
They may
right
have
there.
filmed there for tax purposes or something.
Probably,
Okay.
probably so. I think they actually filmed in Vancouver.
Yeah.
But they leave the detonator that's, meant for translucent with Huey.
Yeah.
And so Frenchie calls Cherie and tells her to evacuate their hideout. And go ahead.
Translucent. He has the glass of water. He figures, okay, if I splash the water on the cable.
Well, he doesn't have water. He actually urinates.
Oh, that's
Yes.
right. Okay, I
He
missed
left
that
the
part.
cup
That's right. He
inside
did.
and peed in
Okay.
it.
Yeah,
Okay.
Huey made the mistake by leaving the cup that was used for the water.
That's true.
He left it with translucent,
Yep.
and he urinates in it and
Catch
splashes.
that. I didn't catch that.
I shall not catch.
No, I caught it on my rewatch
Yeah,
this
I
morning. I
caught
did
that
not
too.
catch that,
Ah.
so I was doing the notes. And
For
stuff.
shame.
Yeah. So anyway, so we did that, and he's free from the cage, but he's still got something inside him. And yeah, so
Why don't you pull it out? I don't
No,
Because
but
if he does,
remember,
it
no,
explodes.
yeah, he told them.
Yeah.
Frenchie told him, he's like, if you even try to take it out, do
It's
it,
gonna
you
detonate.
do anything, it's gonna
It's gonna
detonate
they have to
automatically.
deactivate it
Yeah.
before. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
no. Yeah.
Man, that's a stick situation to be in.
So
That's an interesting choice of words, but okay.
Homelander finds the van that has Frenchie and Butcher, and he
Inside
talks
of
to he talks to Frenchie outside the van. He wants to look inside the van. Frenchie tells him, "Hey, do you have a permit or do you
Yeah,
have
yeah.
I have a warrant.
a warrant?" Yeah. And Homelander, who has X-ray vision, is unable to see through the van. It's obviously made of some material that
Yeah,
he
yeah.
can't see through. I can't think
Is
of
it
what that
zinc?
is.
Can't see through?
Zinc.
Zinc.
He can't
Yeah.
see through zinc.
Superman's lead. He can't see through lead.
Right.
Okay, so that's the problem. So while he's talking to him, Butcher, who's in the alleyway,
Trying to get a signal.
Right.
To,
sets off a bomb that explodes the hideout where Cherie was. And we see her run away before it explodes. So the distraction obviously gets Homelander's attention. He flies away from
Yeah.
leaving the boys. And so we're done with that. They're safe for now. And then we go back to the restaurant. Translucent, who's free from his cage but still has something with him. He he convinces Huey to let him go. And Huey, lets him walk away. I think Translucent thinks he's going to be okay. He even says, like, you can be the person who saved Translucent. You can be the hero that saves him, whatever. So Translucent gets, 10 feet away. And Huey just has the detonator in hand and just
Like
says, you know
holding
what?
it, here. And
Yeah. Just click.
Click.
Boom. Explosion.
Yeah.
And for the second episode in a row,
it's
we have
brutal.
blood. Someone else's
Everywhere.
blood all over
Everywhere.
Huey. So
He needs to go to the doctor and get checked, make sure that he hasn't hepatitis or something, man.
That's
a
true.
lot of blood.
that's
Good
true.
Lord.
Lots of other stuff. Probably.
especially that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
That was-
Lord.
And other bodily
Yeah.
fluids
Yeah.
and
Man.
gross. I just grossed myself out.
So what y'all think about the episode?
Amazing.
I thought it was brilliant.
Such a good episode.
Great
Yeah,
episode.
And like, there are no dry spots in the episode. Like in any of these episodes, everything is so fast moving.
Yeah, it moves.
I kind of question if it was moving too fast. I feel like they could stretch out just a little bit.
Yeah.
I love it.
But
Action packed, good to
Humor.
go. There's humor, there's everything you need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that cancer scene literally happened in this episode, and it didn't feel like it felt like it was. I thought it was the first one.
I thought it was the first episode too.
Yeah. So
You
that's
forget,
what tells you. It's
Yeah.
so much stuff that's happening, but it's no filler at all.
No.
And these
No.
are only hour-long episodes,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
55 minutes or so.
No.
Yeah.
I love
You
it.
know.
I love it.
Yeah.
No, I think it's great, especially with this episode, because obviously you're seeing the progression of, not just the characters themselves, but just we're learning more about the background of why, let's say, even Butcher is involved. So he's obviously with encountering the CIA director and the Mallory files. It's kind of like, well, who's Mallory? What are these
Yeah.
files?
Yeah.
And like, why are
We're
why are
slowly
they so
learning.
important?
Yeah.
So we're slowly getting bits and pieces of background story,
Yeah.
but it's also we're progressing. And I agree with you, Frank. I think at times it feels like it's moving a little too fast, but then at the same time, like it's just at the right pace.
I think you find out very quickly that Homelander is not the guy that he's portrayed to be, and you see he has no problem flexing his muscles and going rogue. And I think this, like, when I was watching the first time around, I was like, he's gonna be a problem. Cause even the scene where he's with Stillwell and Stillwell basically says, "I know you brought that on a plane." It's like in my mind, I'm like, okay, you're Vought International. You are the vice president,
President.
vice president of the whole corporation, and you have no idea what your biggest asset is doing behind the scenes. That's a problem. That's like the director under the president going rogue and doing whatever,
Yeah.
and the president has no handle on him. That's and I think it shows a chicken armor a little bit about how it could be an issue.
Yeah.
But that's also not the first time that we'll see Homelander kind of do something,
do his own thing, yeah.
and Stillwell not know about it.
Yeah.
So.
So now you've heard kind of what we think about the episode. We'd like to know what you think about the episode. And
Please.
Brittany can explain how you can let us know.
If you start following us on the Watchers in the Basement Facebook page, Instagram page, and Twitter, we definitely want to hear from you, just like Justin said. Send us your comments, send us your memes. We're a huge fan of memes. Any articles that you see, just be sure to use #WatchersBasement. And Justin, where else can our viewers and listeners find us?
Our listeners can find us on Anchor. Thanks to Anchor, we are on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Those are two.
And Google Podcasts.
Google Podcasts, there's several, but Apple and Spotify and Google, those are the three major ones. So,
Yeah.
so please, subscribe to our show, rate the show, review it. We'd appreciate the.
Please. 5 stars,
anytime.
please.
Yeah. And she mentioned articles a second ago. If you want to write an article about us, right away.
But you have to use #WatchersBasement for us to find it.
Or tag us in it too.
Or just tag us in it.
Yeah.
As simple as
Send
that.
it
But
to us,
also
yeah.
be sure to let others know about this little podcast. We're not
Spread the word.
We're not a large podcast, but we are a proud one. So
Yes. Very proud. So, any last words? Any funny last words?
Leave it to Britt.
yeah. Oh, why you gotta put that?
Hey Frank! What did Tony Romo say to his brother-in-law?
I don't know. What did he say?
Go deep!
Nice.
Good way to end it.
Nathan with the.
Nathan with the,
he comes flying off the top
Hail
rope with
Mary.
the elbow.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, there you go.
like
A Hail Mary. That's good.
So, anyway, we'll be back next week with episode 3 of The Boys. Thanks for watching. We
Later.
appreciate it.
Love
See
you,
ya.
Nathan.
Good one, Nathan.